Good morning. Welcome to Spending Our Kids' Inheritance. Today I'm going to do our review of the recent cruise we did on the Majestic Princess. But before we start with that, I thought it might be about time for some introductions. My name's Lyle and I retired in 2022. Together with my wife, we always enjoyed traveling. So we sold everything that we had pretty much, put the rest in storage, and have been mostly traveling since 2022. We really enjoy our travels. Now, currently, we have purchased a home in Lima, Peru, an apartment, something that's easily locked up and walked away from, so we can continue our travels. But this does provide us with a good home base location. Someplace we can take breaks on occasion, do those occasional doctor's visits that are required as you get older. And then, so that's a little bit about us. Now, if you're ready, we can get started on the cruise review, the ship review. Thank you for tuning in, and let's get started, shall we? All right, so let's start this off with some general information. The cruise we did was Los Angeles, California to Santiago, Chile, and it was 19 nights or 19 days. The Majestic Princess itself has 19 decks, is listed as having a passenger capacity of 3,560 passengers with a crew of 1,346. During this cruise, from what the captain had said, I believe there was right around 3,000 passengers on board, so the ship was not quite full. Majestic Princess was built in 2017 and no refurbishment date that I could find. It is 1,083 feet long, 224 feet high, and 126 feet wide, with a gross tonnage of 143,700 tons. The first item is Embarkation Day, which pretty much sucked. As you can see in the clips above, the line was incredibly long. I'd have to say it was very disorganized, took forever. Even service, I would say, was not very good. There was lack of information. Nobody seemed to really know what was going on. Of course, most everybody that we dealt with outside here was all the Port Authority people. Did not see many princess people outside. Wasn't until we got inside the building that we actually started seeing princess staff. Probably one of the worst and slowest embarkations that we have experienced. Not that we've cruised hundreds of cruises, but still really bad, and we gave the Embarkation Day a 2.7. Next up is the ship in general. The Majestic Princess had, I'll say, a layout that was a little bit off from, I guess, what I'm used to, so seemed a little uncomfortable. The promenade deck didn't go all the way around or even close. There was always, it was narrow, and I like a nice promenade deck for walking. But aside from that, the looks of the ship were all real good. Crowding was manageable. Cleanliness, maintenance, both were excellent. Didn't really see any maintenance issues. So for the ship rating, we gave it a 4.3. Next up is the room. We had room E505, which was an obstructed balcony. Overall, the room was, I would say, good. It had what I would say is a standard layout from previous princess ships that we've been on. The noise level was real good. The cleanliness was great. Maintenance in the room was good. Didn't have any maintenance issues. I'd say the only two negatives in the room were the night lights. You can see the light over the door in the video right now. That one's a night light. It comes on. There's a motion sensor on it. We did figure out a way to resolve that by using some of the magnets we bought and hanging a napkin over it from the dining room. Took care of that. The only other thing was plugs, which you get kind of used to. The plugs aren't always enough or convenient on some of these, I'll say, older ships. It's not one of the newer ones that has USBs and things. But overall, the room was nice, and we rated it a 4.7. While I'm thinking about it, I should mention that my rating scale I do is 1 to 5, so 4.7 out of 5. We now move on to main dining, and there were 3 dining rooms: the Allegro, the Concerto, and the Symphony, with the Symphony dining room being the one that we normally dined at. We prefer the anytime, just to be able to show up when we can. And on our cruise, the Symphony dining room was for anytime dining, with the other 2 being for traditional, one for traditional, which I believe was Concerto, and one for reservations, which I believe was Allegro during our cruise. Dining room was well laid out, I thought. Decor was very nice. Plenty of room. There was one night when I think we hit a kind of a busy time, and our dining room was a little busy, so they took us upstairs to Concerto, and it was fine. Food was good, not as good as the Island Princess, or at least that's how it seemed to us. And the service did not quite seem as good on this ship either, but still good service. So for the main dining, we rated it a 4.3. Up next, we have the World Fresh Marketplace. This is the buffet aboard the ship, and we pretty much ate all of our breakfasts and lunches in the buffet. The buffet was good. We thought the layout was a little different. As you'll see here, instead of having on previous ships we've been on, the buffet ran, I'd say, the length of the ship, and you had 2 sides. Here you have these aisleways that go from left to right on the ship, port to starboard, and that's where most of the food was. I think they did this mainly because this is a wider ship than previous ones that we had been on. And it was a little different. They didn't have, on previous cruises with the buffet on each side, both sides were always the same. So when they shut one side down to change over between breakfast or lunch, everything was still available just on the other side. Here, if they shut one area, one of the hallways down, you may not be able to get to something that you liked because it wasn't all the same. So for layout, it was probably the one weakness. Other than that, the comfort was good. We rarely had a problem with crowding. We were always able to find a seat. It did get busy, but we always were able to find a seat. The food was good, flavor was real good, and the variety was good for a 19-day cruise. The variety changed quite often. There were those regulars, I think pizza every day at lunch and things like that. But it was good. So for a score, we gave the buffet a 4.7. Now, continuing with our food-based theme, we have miscellaneous dining. On this ship, that included the International Cafe, where you could find things 24 hours. It was the one food place open 24 hours. Pastries, some all sandwiches for lunches and in the evenings, mainly snack items, as well as the noodle bar, which is something different on this ship. Most of the time there's pizza out by the deck, or at least on our previous cruises. and the burger and lobster grill, as well as Swirl's ice cream. Now, we enjoyed all these. The service was great, the food was good in all of them. So we gave the miscellaneous dining options on the Majestic Princess a 5.0. All right, the next item on our list is the pools and sun deck areas. So the Majestic Princess had two pool areas. The main outside pool was kind of separated into two. You had a pool on either side of the fountain, which was situated in the middle. You can see it here in this video with the stairs going up. During the day, they had loungers there, and a couple times at sea, they clear everything out and they have a fountain show there. The deck areas were all good. They had a lot of lounge chairs, plenty at least on our cruise. And then you also had the indoor pool, and the indoor pool was nice. They had some loungers, not really for sunning, of course, because you're inside. But they also had these nice cabanas kind of things that were around the side. And again, never really had a problem getting one of them. Everything was clean, temperatures were good, maintenance seemed good. So for the pool and sun deck areas, we rated it a 5 out of 5. Moving on to the next item on our list, we have the main shows and showroom. On the Majestic Princess, the showroom or main showroom is in the bow of the ship. It has access on 2 levels and was pretty good size. You can access it from deck 5 and deck 6, 2 access points each. The only thing that I really noticed from previous cruises and shows, also other areas on board the ship, I guess, the seats were a bit narrow, kind of a snug fit, I'll say. Wasn't overly uncomfortable, but a little snug. Shows were, I'd say, okay. We mainly saw the main shows. Most of the other shows they had were not that interesting for us. We didn't find them that interesting, so mainly skipped those. So for the main shows and showroom, we gave that a rating of 4.3. Miscellaneous entertainment is the next item on our list. This includes things like just the lounge shows, the singers. This here is the Vista Gaming Lounge, where they had comedians and other shows. So generally just the miscellaneous stuff throughout the ship. Overall, the entertainment was good. We spent many an evening, not a full evening, but walking back from maybe dinner, going to dinner, stopping and enjoying music that they were playing in the plaza or one of the lounges. I really enjoyed going to see Carlos. He's a comedian. We saw him on the transatlantic crossing. I thought he was good. The Champagne Tower waterfall thing they did, fountain. I forget what they call it, but it was all good. Entertainment overall, I think, was pretty good. We gave, for miscellaneous entertainment, we rated that a 4.0 out of 5. Our next category is miscellaneous services. This is just interactions with crew members around the ship, just random, no specific place. For that, we rated a 5.0. Everybody was really helpful and friendly. The next item on our list is technology, and with technology, it's things like the interactive boards, the apps, and in the case of Princess, the medallion. The medallion is a little bit wearable device that you use for accessing your room, charging things to your room. When you go up to customer service and places like that, they can usually see who's there in front of them. It's pretty good thing. We really like the medallions. The app, on the other hand, had a couple issues. Had to be reset a couple times during the cruise. Not sure why, but it would just like kick you out and make you re-sign in with your booking number. And the messaging on the app did not have any notifications, which made things a little rough. Always had to keep looking at your phone if you thought somebody might, in my case, Lily might be messaging me for something. So overall in technology, we rated it a 4.3. The last item on our list is disembarkation, and we disembarked in Santiago, Chile. Everything went really well, so disembarkation was quick. The terminal seemed to be pretty well organized. We got off fast, everything was clean. All, for lack of a better word, all good, so we gave disembarkation a 5.0. Well, that's basically it. So the overall rating that we gave for this cruise came out as a 4.4. Good cruise. We really enjoyed it. Can't really say anything real negative about it other than the embarkation day. So that's it. If you're planning a trip on the Majestic, I'm sure you'll have fun. It was a nice ship. As always, thanks for taking the time to watch our channel. If you enjoyed this video, please give a like, and if you haven't done so already, please follow us with the notification bell on. That helps the visibility for anybody else that's looking for this type of content. We wish you all safe and happy travels.